Hey guys, it's David. This is my first proclaim. This is a little bit of a different proclaim because I wanted to lean on my strengths, and my biggest strengths for sure are my support team and those people around me. So I thought a video would incorporate all of that. Okay, so the whole video is going to be me and my sister talking and walking through the whole proclaim. We're going to be talking about the Sabbath day. No, bro. Wait, scoot back. Okay. Okay. This is my little sister Nicole, and we're going to be talking about
the Sabbath day.
Okay, so Nicole is in Catholic school.
Catholic school.
And we're talking about the Sabbath day. What is the Sabbath day?
The Sabbath day is when you go to Mass and you could finally tell God everything, and you could just receive God and honor Him in the Holy Trinity. I know that we always have to attend it.
But why?
Because we need to spend time with God.
Right. So the Sabbath day is a day that we take out of our week to spend time with God. And usually that day is Sunday because we go to Mass on Sundays. The Sabbath day is one of the 10 Commandments, right?
Yes.
And why is it so important that God made it one of the 10 Commandments?
It's important because, God already knows everything, but he likes if you just tell him personally, because he knows that you trust him if you tell him everything.
So God wants us to make time for him, so he made the Sabbath day for us to go to him, right?
You take this away.
You want to be in it?
Huh?
You want to be in it? Whenever God created the earth, how many days did he create it in?
7.
7 days, right? Well, he actually created it in 6 days, and in the 7th day, he rested. So, if God is so powerful, why would he need to rest? If he could do anything in the world, why would God need to rest?
So he could look at his work and he could look at his work and just like see what he's accomplished, and he's like, wow, I did all of this.
Right. And the way I like to think about it is God is perfect. So if he didn't rest that day, the world would not be created how it is right now. So if he sped up the process, or if he slowed it down even a second, it would not be how it is. You want to join?
We're talking about the Sabbath day.
Hey guys.
Okay, so say who you are, how old you are.
I'm Priscilla. I'm 16 years old. I'm David's little sister.
And say what grade you're in.
I'm a junior, so next year I'll graduate.
Okay, so why is the Sabbath day a commandment?
Because you need to go to Mass on
So what are the 10 Commandments? Why did God make the 10 Commandments?
so we could follow them.
Right, and why do we need to follow them?
Because some people were like, they didn't know what to do, and so they got confused and all that stuff until God told Moses to get the 10 Commandments from like this hill.
Yeah, so the 10 Commandments are just the way Jesus lived his life, and it's an example of how we should live our life to get to heaven. But obviously, since we're human, we sin and we break them. But he specifically said, honor the Sabbath day as one of the commandments because it's very important.
It's like an example.
Exactly. It's an example. So God set the example of how we should live our lives.
So we're comparing the Old Covenant, and that includes the Old Testament and the Levitical Law, and the New Covenant that Jesus came on the earth and established. He said so himself. So in the Old Covenant and the Old Testament, these are, a laundry list of rules that would be impossible for we as humans to accomplish. And obviously we did. So with the New Covenant that Jesus came and on the earth and said that he was not here to abolish that Old Covenant, but to establish a new one and exceed the standards of that old law. We cannot accomplish the old law. So how do we do that? Well, we don't. We submit to Jesus and we let him accomplish and fulfill the new law.
So Connor didn't mention this, but when Christ came to fulfill the law, he also said this after how they had 300 plus rules or commandments, and then Jesus had the 10 commandments. What's greater than all of those is loving God with all your heart, and he also added loving your neighbor as yourself. So whenever you love God, you're already going to love yourself. When you love your neighbor, you're going to love yourself. Or you're going to love God when you love your neighbor, because he said, what you do to the least of my people, you do unto me.
What does your week look like? Like, what do you do throughout the week?
So I go to school on Monday. Tuesday I go to school 3. Thursday, Friday I go to school. Then tomorrow I rest, and then the next day I go to mass.
Okay, so Monday through Friday you go to school. Saturday is your free time, and then Sunday is a day that you take to go to mass, right? So you have a busy schedule, huh? You have a busy schedule. So whatever our schedules may be with sports, athletics, maybe you're in a club, something, whatever, doing homework, whatever it may be, no matter what it is, we all get tired and burnt out. So eventually we're gonna need a day for rest. And that day is usually on Sundays, because that's the day we go to mass. It doesn't have to be Sundays. It could be, like, if you're busy, if you have to work on Sunday, or if you have some tournament going on or something, we can go on Saturdays or even throughout the week, right? What are some different ways that we can honor the Sabbath day without
Going to mass.
So going to mass is number one. That is number one. So we need a day of the week to go to mass. And why is it important? To give God thanks for all the things that we have, to give God thanks for everything, but also to rest from all the things that we have going on in life. So that's one day out of the week that we go to God and just rest and be thankful and grateful for everything that he does for us, right? So what are some other things that we can do?
Yeah, so you could pray, you could just read the Bible.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend all your time on the Sabbath day on your knees praying for 8 hours straight. It could be something as simple as going and doing something with your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, brother, sister. It could be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be hard. God said the only thing you need to do to fulfill all of these commandments, love God with all your mind, heart, and soul. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Easier said than done, but it's simple. It's simple. You don't have to overcomplicate. How you can spend it looks different for everyone else. Holiness does not look the same for me as it might look for you. Someone else might spend an hour on Sunday outside of Mass on their knees praying. I don't do that. In middle school especially, I didn't do that. So just find little things.
So why is it important to rest, do you think?
We need like at least one day to rest and just relax
And what happens if you don't rest?
if you don't rest, well, you just keep on working and working and working and working, and you will.
Let's say you're working to get good grades, right? And then you get good grades, and then what? What can you do with those good grades?
Well, those good grades like get you higher up in classes
And you can, okay, and then when you finish all your classes, you get a good job, right? And then when you get a good job, you get a lot of money, right? And then when you get a lot of money, you can do whatever you want, right? And then what?
Well,
Is that what you want? Just a lot of things? Okay, jumping in really quick, because it cut out, but she said without God, we wouldn't be able to have any of these things. So we should be working for things in heaven, not things of this world. Name's Meg.
relax.
Okay, so what about people that relax too much?
People who relax too much.
Why might that be bad? Why?
Because if you relax too much, um, God, wants you to, have a good life and wants you to work and stuff.
But why does he want us to work?
So we could have a good life.
Yeah, so God wants us to do something with our lives so we can reach our full potential, right? Whatever he intended, whatever purpose he had for us in this life. So if we are lazy and we just sit around and watch TV and just lay in bed all day, we're not doing that and we're not reaching our full potential, right?
Because we're just laying there without achieving nothing.
How do you rest with God?
How you rest with God is if you're at mass and you're praying, then you're telling him everything. That's you're resting because you're getting everything off your chest and telling it out to God.
Okay?
Okay.
So there's a story in the Bible where Jesus heals a woman that was paralyzed for a lot of her life.
Most of your life.
Most of her life. So what do you think that means? So why would Jesus heal somebody on the Sabbath day?
He could heal them because, he's kind and he would heal anyone.
Right, so that showed that love's kindness, grace, is way more powerful than anything else on earth.
So talking about how you should love God and love your neighbor with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. There's different ways that you can do that, and that's not always just it's not always that. It can be in forms of self-denial. So let's say you're at home and you see there's dishes in the sink, and you go outside of yourself, even though you don't want to. You sacrifice your time and your pleasure to wash the dishes because you're like, oh, maybe I'll help my mom out or my dad or my grandma and grandpa with the dishes today. That's a form of love because you're doing something for others that's good, even though sometimes it may hurt you a little bit. Another way, maybe you have a sibling and they say something and it makes you mad, but you hold back your tongue. It's like you cut off your tongue so that the voice of God in the silence can speak for you, because God speaks through the silence. And when there's that silence, there can be love. Maybe talking too much can disturb that peace and disturb that love. So there's a lot of different ways how you can show love to another person. Maybe it's being silent, or maybe it's an action, or maybe it's just spending time with someone that you love. And
So have you ever felt super overwhelmed? There's a lot going on. Have you ever felt like that? And what do you do whenever you do that? Whenever you feel that?
I just go to my room, lock myself, and just talk to God and take a few moments.
That's good. And why specifically your room?
Because it's a silent place that I can tell him everything.
Yes. So it's important to find a place where you can just focus solely on God. Porque tienes que ir a misa los domingos.
Darle gracias a Dios, hay que estar agradecido siempre porque Dios nos brinda muchas bendiciones todos los días.
Es el día que Dios nos puso, que es cuando tenemos que ir a visitar a Él.
A ver.
Es el día que Dios dice que ese día lo hizo para no trabajar, para no hacer otras actividades, para dedicarlo a Dios e ir a visitarlo. Por eso es que cada 8 días tenemos que ir a misa.
Para dar gracias a Dios por todo lo que nos da y por la salud de la familia y para fortalecernos y agarrar fuerzas y seguir adelante cada día.
Okay. That is everything. That's a wrap.
That's all about the Sabbath day.
That's everything we know about the Sabbath day. Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, I almost tripped.